from KTUL Tulsa. You're watching Good Day Tulsa.
We're going to be joined by our very favorite celebrity historian, Raffi Andonian. He's going to get us prepared. Yeah, this is a thing for World Toilet Day.
Yeah, it's that kind of day.
Well, coming up after the break, we will be joined by celebrity historian Raffi Andonian to tell us all about World Toilet Day. Yeah, it's a thing. We'll be right back. Well, if you are not already aware, tomorrow is World Toilet Day, which was created by the United Nations.
Who knew, right? Here to tell us all about it is our friend and celebrity historian, Raffi Andonian. Always good to see you, Raffi. Always good to see you and your lovely wife, Nicole. I know she didn't make it this time, but it was great seeing her last time, and all the times that you come before. We're blessed. It's always an honor when you do get to come in.
Yeah, he always is so full of knowledge. And first of all, the knowledge you imparted was that we have a World Toilet Day. But I want to find out a little bit about why we set it up. And then we have some questions that we have for you. So why was this day established?
Because what it is for the United Nations to acknowledge that there's still billions of people in the world that don't have access to clean water. And so there are different organizations that are trying to do things about it. World Toilet Organization is one of them. Rotary Club is one of them. Here's my bow tie. I'm a volunteer member of Rotary Club. But the thing is that that's what it's trying to do, is bring awareness to the clean water issue that we have around the world.
So that's brilliant. First off, it's a great idea.
Great idea. Great way to bring attention, right?
Yes, absolutely. And I think maybe we take for granted
Absolutely.
a lot of that inventions. In fact, think back to when it wasn't around. Like perhaps when George Washington was, you know, in the master. Did he even have? Were they available?
No, that's funny. Right? The master bedroom didn't have a bathroom the way we think about it. You'd have something like this, a chamber pot, often decorative. This is how they were. Just like this, even decorated on the inside, and after he used it, you know, it would, especially in the evening or in the winter, you don't want to go outside because they did have outhouses. But if it's an odd hour and it's cold, you don't want to do that. So you may have, you know, someone else take this out. Especially with George Washington, you might have a slave take it out and dump it outside later on in the morning or something like that. But if you don't have servants or slaves, you're going to have to do that yourself in the morning.
Okay, all right, so George Washington, of course, how did they excuse themselves? Like, you know, what did they say to try to get out of the room?
It's really odd, you know. Remember, these are Englishmen before they become Americans, right? And in London in the 14th, 15th century, they had some of these public outhouses, if you will, but there would be these longhouses, as they call them, communal and over, like, sitting on top of the river, so it would just go down the river. But by the time you get to early America, there isn't as much of that in the early colonial period, so they would just put these chamber pots behind the partition next to the dining room. So during dinner, they would get up and excuse themselves, and they're just on the other side of basically a curtain, but you could really tell what they're doing behind there.
Oh my soul!
I had no idea.
Oh yeah,
there's no separate room.
That's not okay. So when was? I didn't even ask that. I should have asked. When was the flushing toilet apparatus invented?
It's over the course of centuries. I mean, you have, you know, these aqueducts and pipelines that are from ancient Egypt and Rome and Greece that exist. But what we will recognize with water in the toilet maybe starts in the 1590s or so. It doesn't pick up popularity until more in the 1770s. There's a patent where they put water in there with the S-pipe. And that helps it not have odors come back out instead of just water flushing from the top. But it's not until the 1880s and 1890s. That's right. What a great invention, right? But it's not until the 1880s and 1890s that you have a series of patents that really bring it to what we know. And the guy's name that did that in England, Thomas Crapper. What a perfect name for fit the situation.
I don't know about you, Bud, but I feel like I just have this wealth of exploding knowledge.
I'll tell you what I have in my head. Right now, as I thought about this, I thought that dude did a lot of thinking on that. A lot more thinking I would have.
I'll add one more quick thing on George Washington. Now, there were rumors that in England, he had his face inside the pot because they didn't like him after the American Revolution. So in return, Americans would put faces of kings on their chamber pots to use it on there. And a very famous one is Captain Basil, who is one of the people that ends up being on the pot in the 1820s, so a generation after the George Washington's era. And the reason for that is because he spoke ill of Americans when he traveled to the United States. So they said, all right, you're going to talk smack like that? We're going to put you on the chamber pot. So it was not uncommon to have faces on the chamber pots based on this rivalry between England and the U.S. that was taking place, to put them in their place.
You know, it's a good thing that's not around today, because I have a feeling we'd have a Biden-Trump chamber pot, competition of some sort. So
don't tell them about it, because it'll happen.
I know. That's
now,
a good
tomorrow,
point,
on November 19th, that is officially the day. And for all the information on Raffi Andonian, the celebrity historian, visit celebrityhistorian.com.
And you will just come away with a pot full of knowledge.